Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady, where a sneaky Karen pretends to be okay and then later complains to the manager and tries to get the employee fired. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our awesome community. And now, without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the stories. I am not a doctor or a nurse, sir. A bit of background info. My mom is the head of the dermatology department in the local hospital, and while in high school I used to go in to help her with some basic filling and putting away boxes that were too heavy for her. As a note, the hospital has a very strict dress code for its workers, for example full white attire, no crazy hair colors, no visible tattoos, no shorts or short skirts, no long nails, etc. My country also does not allow hospitals to employ anyone under the age of 16, and I have the worst case of baby face syndrome, and at the time I was 14 but looked around 11. And had bright neon pink hair, so there was no way anyone could have thought I was a hospital worker, or so I thought. On that day I was in my mom's office packing up some boxes and shelving them when an older man pushes the door open and walks in without knocking. My mom's office, room 18, is the last one on the hallway, and he had to walk past 7 other dermatology examination rooms to get there. The door also has a sign saying, "Do not disturb, appointments are in room 17. The cast is me, OM Old Man. Old Man:
I got sent over from trauma and they said I need an appointment to see a dermatologist.
Me: I'm sorry, but I don't work here. If you need an appointment, you need to speak to the nurses one door over to the right. OM:
Trauma told me I need an appointment.
Me: I understand, but I do not work here. I cannot give you an appointment. If you would just go one door over, the nurses there can help you. OM:
But I need an appointment to see a dermatologist. They sent me over from trauma.
Me: Yes, I understand that, but I do not work here. Please go one door over and ask there. The nurses can give you an appointment to see a dermatologist there. OM:
So can you give me an appointment?
Me: Completely had enough. Please follow me. I go one door over, knock and tell the nurse that the man needs an appointment and got sent over from trauma. OM continues to be totally bewildered that he needed to speak to a hospital worker to get an appointment. I go back and finish packing the boxes. I think OP handled that situation quite well. Because I doubt that was a real Karen moment, I think that guy was just confused and maybe had some head trauma or something. When a bunch of Karens act like nothing is wrong but then complain to management. The last day of my 7 days of scheduled shift, and I was the opener today, covering for someone who is on vacation. It was a rough weekend, 4th of July, in a heavily tourist-filled city/area. Needless to say, I was not on my top game today, just tired. So, during the lunch rush, I get set a party of 5 ladies in the rotate section. Older ladies just having lunch, I guessed. Did not seem to be anything special. The host told me that one lady wanted to pay for everything and handed me her credit card. I went up to them, don't remember if I was particularly warm or friendly, but even on my off days I'm usually a polite, attentive server. The ladies did not seem very warm or friendly. Quiet. They order drinks, apps and entrees all very quickly. This particular lunch rush kind of screwed me. The seating was not even, so I ended up having 9 tables when the other server had 4. I did not really get a chance to be too attentive with this party, but everything went smoothly. They got their drinks, their apps, their entrees. I refilled their waters and teas promptly. One lady told me that they were going to want a picture, and I told them I would take a picture of them in a minute, but then they got their food and I figured I would take a picture at the end of the meal, maybe if/when they got dessert. I was going to mention this idea to them, but then got super busy and the communication slipped my mind. They never reminded me to take a picture of them again. As I am boxing up their food, I see one of the ladies standing at the host stand waiting for a manager. I asked her if everything was okay and she said yes, that it had nothing to do with me, but she needed to see a manager. Well, she lied. She told my manager that I was rude, hostile, and that service was terrible. She even had the nerve to tell my manager that she was in remission for cancer and they were out celebrating and I had ruined their celebration lunch. Also, I ignored her when I said she wanted a picture. It was never communicated to me that they were celebrating anything. Never communicated to me that it was a special lunch. I of course would have tried to make it a point to make it more special, but they did not even pull the gifts out that were under the table until after they complained. I was honestly dumbfounded and really upset. I had my manager finish out the table, finished up the rest of my tables, and went into the back and shed a couple of tears. I am not a mind reader, Karen. The good news, the lady who complained did not pay, so I still got $40 from them. Well, honestly, if you cannot read Karen's mind and do everything that she wants, you shouldn't work in the service industry, right?
You gotta obey and serve Princess Karen.
But anyway, let's continue.
You don't work here?
A few years ago, I worked for a rental company where the uniform consists of either red, white or blue polo shirts and khakis. So being that I worked for about a decade, I think I developed the resting retail face. I found myself in situations where I am wearing the red polo in Target or the blue polo in Walmart and would be asked to help. One day, a coworker and I, both wearing blue polos, stroll into Walmart for one reason or another. She tells me that she will go get what we are looking for and she would be quick. I decide to stay towards the entrance next to electronics. I am standing there minding my business when my radar pings and I see my client. He's not looking at me or trying to get my attention, but I know it's coming, and sure enough, a few seconds later, he comes up to me with 2 copies of Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince, 1 Blu-ray and 1 DVD.
Excuse me, could you tell me why there's a difference in price between both of these?
Normally, I would say, I don't work here and walk away, but I was bored and had time to kill, so why not? Well, sir, one of these is a Blu-ray version and the other one is standard DVD.
Which one has the best picture?
Definitely the Blu-ray, but you need to have a Blu-ray player as well as a high-definition TV to be able to get the best picture. This was during the time that technology was fairly new and being sent to the masses. He starts asking more technical questions and I'm answering them all, when suddenly he takes a real good look at what I'm wearing and says,
You don't work here?
Me? No.
Then why did you help me?
You looked lost and it seemed like you needed some help. At this moment, my coworker returns, the customer and I have a quick chuckle and I leave. You know, in Germany, if someone would be that friendly and help me like that, I would be pretty sure that that guy is definitely not an employee. Either way, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some stars in the comments and like the video if you want to support me. Every comment and every like helps, so thank you very much. I hope he wanted decaf. I know most posts here are rather short, but I'm apparently incapable of telling a short story, so this is going to be long. Plus, it needs some background. I work in a rather specialized area of forensics. Officially, I'm employed by Police Scotland, but they tend to let other law enforcement agencies and universities etc. borrow us from time to time. A lot of the time it's for consulting work or guest lecturing, but sometimes we are sent to teach training courses. About 18 months ago, I was asked to lecture at a training course for some of the CID higher-ups in an English police force. It was the first time I had done anything like it and I was crapping myself. I met with the conveners and other officials for dinner the night before my first day, and after dinner and drinks I was dropped back at my hotel. So, to set the scene, it's about 10 PM, I'm all dressed up in my evening wear and I'm sitting at the bar in the hotel lounge. The place is dead, it's just me and the barman, so I've taken off my heels and I am unraveling my hair, having just ordered a hot chocolate. The barman asks if I want mini marshmallows on my hot chocolate. Yes, of course I want mini marshmallows on my hot chocolate. No, I don't mind waiting while you run to the kitchen. So I am sitting there trying to trick my phone into connecting to the hotel's Wi-Fi when Angry Man walks in. He stomped into the room and slammed his fist down on the bar about 3 feet from me and barked out one word.
Coffee!
I did not know it, but apparently that attempt at communication was aimed at me. A fact I learned a moment later when Angry Man moved right up next to me, bent over me so his face was practically in mine, and barked out again.
Coffee!
In an attempt to get away from the screaming coffee man, I slipped off the bar stool, putting it between the two of us. Extremely confused and more than a little terrified, it did not immediately occur to me that he thought I worked there. Hell, it was not even registering that he wanted a coffee. He was just repeating it the same way a toddler does when they learn a new word but don't entirely know what it means. I am going to blame the confusion, fear and tiredness for my completely moronic response, which was to parrot the word back at him. Me, coffee? Angry Man,
Coffee!
Then he slammed his fist down on the bar again. This time I noticed that he was actually throwing down money. Me, the barman should be back in a second. He, Angry Man,
Get me a coffee, now!
ooh, 4 new words. Progress. Me, I'm sorry mate, I don't work here. Angry Man, shouting now.
You effing lazy liar! Do you think I'm effing stupid?
Yes actually, but I will be keeping that to myself. Angry Man,
Get off your effing phone and get me a effing coffee!
me, I really don't. Q rant about me being the only person in the lounge, so of course I must work there and I was just being lazy, and did I take him for an idiot? All while I am slowly backing away from the bar so he cannot pin me between it and the bar stools. Then he throws in this. Angry Man,
Do you have any idea who I am? Do you have any idea how important I am?
I never got to find out how important this guy thought he was. Instead, Angry Man's friend came wandering in. He took one look at me, pretty much cornered by Angry Man, who's now screaming about how he will make sure I never work again, while I am trying to calmly tell him to back off and he tries to intervene. He took Angry Man by the shoulders and moved him back away from me while asking him what was going on. Angry Man,
This stupid little girl is refusing to serve me.
me, I really don't work here. Angry Man's friend, she doesn't work here, let's all just try to calm down. There was a few moments of Angry Man's friend trying to calm Angry Man while he ranted about me getting fired until 2 barmen arrived, one of them with my hot chocolate. The presence of the 3 men distracted Angry Man enough for me to grab my shoes and escape with my chocolatey goodness. As I left, I could hear him demanding to speak to a manager. The next day, after being introduced to a lecture theater full of high-ranking CID officers, I stood and walked to the podium only to be greeted by one guy in the audience laughing hysterically. I just sort of froze, trying to figure out the joke. Did I have food on my face? Was my shirt on inside out? A quick check confirmed that no, I had managed to adult that morning. A few other people began to chuckle as this guy struggled to get a hold of himself. As he regained control, he pointed to his left, where a very red-looking Angry Man was sitting. I think it was the sheer relief that he was not actually laughing at me that caused me to open my mouth and say to Angry Man, "Oh, did you get your coffee in the end?" He walked out and I did not see him for the rest of the course. By the way guys, what is your favorite caffeine-infused beverage of choice? I gotta be honest, I hate coffee. I prefer drinking either Coke Zero or energy drinks, but what about you guys? I would bet at least 90% of my viewers are coffee drinkers, but prove me wrong. I was brought down a peg at work today. So I work at a Midwest/Northwestern bargain outlet store. Basically we get brand names at affordable prices. And you get a ripe star cookie if you can guess which store he's talking about. So I was head cashier today and we were busy halfway through the day. This woman comes into my line, let's call her Karen, and swiftly gets her 6 or 7 items up on the counter and starts scanning them. Seems normal enough, right? No, wrong. Because our tech is somewhat outdated, we have to manually set things up for transactions. And just as I was finishing scanning things, Karen tells me,
You can start bagging things now.
in a very demanding and Karen-esque tone. I was still busy setting up the transaction and I have not even told her total yet. She reached down for something, looked back up to see the items not in begs and screams at me. I felt that sensation of a heat wave wrapping around your body when you're being yelled at and you have to sit there and take it. I just utter, "I'm sorry, ma'am," while she furiously begged everything and then said,
"No, there's a line."
There was already a line, we were busy, nothing new, but the way she needed to bring attention to it made me sick to my stomach with humiliation. Just as I was sending the info to the pin pad for her card to end the transaction, she slammed a 10% off coupon on the counter. Seeing this, I had to rush over to hit cancel to make sure I add the 10% off. While I was doing this, Karen made another backhanded remark, the one that almost broke me today.
"Look, I know you might be new at this, but you need to be faster, honey."
This hurt. This hurt me so much, I knew what I was doing. Yes, I have only been there for a month and some change. But the fact she made the transaction take longer and then yelled at me for it just muted me. After I gave her the receipt, she smirked and said,
"Have a good day, sweetie,"
in the smug Karen tone of her triumphing over a retail worker. I could not tell her anything unless I wanted to get fired, which I didn't. I love this job and the people I work with are amazing people and most of the customers I talk with are rather pleasant. But this was the worst customer interaction I have suffered yet. But I know there will be more and I'm not ready to quit just yet. As someone mentioned in the comments, what OP should have done is, when he got the coupon, he should have said, "Oh sorry, I need to start over because you did not give me the coupon before I checked out." And then proceed to do everything as slow as possible. Woman talks to me like I'm a peasant, feels dumb because I don't work here, lady. So last week my husband and I go out to a small little 50s style diner in our town. The food is cheap and delicious and I'd been craving it since I'm about 8 months pregnant. We enjoy our meal and get ready to leave. I told him to leave a tip and I would go up and pay. There's 2 entrances to this place and one happens to be by the register. It's a very small diner and can get crowded. I'm standing at the register, waiting patiently, minding my own business, when I hear,
"Table for 4.
Mind you, this place is seat yourself. I figured this woman behind me was trying to get staff's attention, so I just glance at her and go back to minding my own business. Then I hear this old lady huff and puff and complain to her husband about
"How stupid that waitress must be."
I look at her again, since she's right in my personal space behind me, and she goes,
"Hello, table for 4, I said."
I looked this old Karen right in the eye and said, "Calm down, lady, I don't even work here. But since you wanted to be a rude witch, maybe you should use your brain and look around. It's seat yourself." Old Bitty gives me a shocked look, huffs some more and waddles over to a table. Take that, you old bat. But anyway guys, that's all the content I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video and if you did, don't forget to click that like button to support me. Also, if you haven't already, please also click on the bell icon next to the subscribe button to not miss any of my videos. But for now, I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.